Today, I do want to speak about Joao Cancelo and his time at Barcelona. I think that the fact that Barcelona only have 6 games left in this season, there's more calmness. We can assess many players and there's enough data to back up every opinion that we do have. Now, don't get me wrong, Barcelona should still win all 6 games. We can't be too relaxed because it's important for us to end in the best way possible in order for us to say, okay, yeah, Xavi Hernandez is the one, because the last thing I want to see is for Xavi to say, I'm going to be staying here, and then we lose like 2 matches or something like that. So let's continue to win these upcoming games, and most importantly, we have to maintain a top 2 spot in the league in order for us to go into the Spanish Super Cup, because if we end up in 3rd, then there goes another trophy out the window for the next season. So of course, Barcelona still have to win these next 6 games, but right now it is the perfect time to speak about Joao Cancelo. So Cancelo arrived at Barcelona after being tossed around by City and Bayern Munich. Neither club really wanted the player, and many of us wondered, like, why do these clubs not want Cancelo? And so Barcelona stepped in, they got him in the summer of 2023, and we have Joao Cancelo on loan from Manchester City. City and Barcelona are currently splitting the salary, so Barcelona are not losing a lot in order to maintain the player on loan. And so when we got him, we're like, okay, cool, right? Like, Joao Cancelo is going to come in, he can play as a right back, it can also lead to Jules Koundé playing as a center back. Great, we reinforced the right back position, and the fan base got what they wanted, because remember, like 2 seasons ago, or I believe it was in Xavi's first season, many were saying that we needed 2 attacking fullbacks, which was Balde and Joao Cancelo. But then many did realize that having Cancelo and Balde together was basically suicide, and Xavi tried to fix this by using a 2-3-5 formation when we went on to attack. So we had Koundé and Araujo as our center backs at the back, with our midfield 3 being Joao Cancelo, Frankie de Jong, and Gavi. So Cancelo went up a little and inverted himself and sat right next to Frankie de Jong, and so that is where the 3 does come from the 2-3-5 formation. And then up top, our 5 attackers was Balde, Felix, Lewandowski, Gundogan, and Rafinha. Rafinha at that time was playing as a right winger, but it did not work. We found for that experiment to fail because there were so many long balls that were going against us. It led towards us conceding even more goals at the back because it only left us with only 2 real center backs to defend those long balls. And so it was a disaster. No matter what happened, having Cancelo and Balde in the starting 11 was a disaster. We also have to keep in mind that when Cancelo was inverting himself and sitting next to Frankie de Jong, he couldn't go wide and make those crosses. He also couldn't cut inside with his right foot and try to shoot the ball or like pass the ball. So we needed a better idea. Later down the season, we found out that Jules Koundé is actually a much better right back than Joao Cancelo, and that forced for Joao Cancelo to go into the left back position. Cancelo gained more prominence ever since that, because ever since Balde got injured, Cancelo became the starting left back for FC Barcelona with Jules Koundé on the right back position. And then we either had Araujo and Christensen starting or Araujo and Kubarsi. And so from there we saw Cancelo's uprise in his career, and he was dominating the left flank. And so far he has 4 goals and 4 assists. Throughout those times, while he was scoring goals and providing assists over the past 6 to 7 months, Barcelona were very clear. They said multiple times through the media that they hope that Joao Cancelo does continue at the club. There's also this potential for them to buy the player, and they're working closely with Jorge Mendes to make that happen. So everything was looking great, but then came the last month from today, and when Barcelona faced PSG and Real Madrid, Joao Cancelo showed who he really was. And Joao Cancelo showed who he really was in the toughest moments. Like, yes, you can be amazing during the easiest moments, but if you mess up during the toughest moments through the season, that is who you actually are. And the amount of bad performances and mistakes that he did against Real Madrid and PSG, 2 of our most important games of the season, Joao Cancelo made mistakes that were unforgivable and unacceptable. And I'm like, dude, really? This is going to be our left back? This is how he's going to be performing when Barcelona have to face against a world-beating team? We can't afford to have Joao Cancelo do these type of things in the next season, especially because our expectations are only going to go even higher when we do make better recruitments throughout this summer. We cannot do that. And so let's go into detail on what Joao Cancelo did, starting with the first mistake, and it was against PSG. Barcola made a cross into the box. Cancelo fails to defend the back post. Dembélé receives the ball with just 1 tap in and puts the ball behind the net. The one player that was supposed to defend Dembélé easily was supposed to be Cancelo, but Cancelo failed to stop that cross that led towards Dembélé seeing the ball. And I'm like, dude, the only thing you had to do was realize that Dembélé was behind you and stop that cross from even happening. He let that ball go through him thinking that there was no one behind him, and that is what led towards PSG getting the 1-1 tie in the second leg, and that is where the momentum started to build through the game. Moving on towards the second mistake, which was in the exact same match. Cancelo hit Dembélé that led towards a penalty. And I'm like, dude, why would you want to hit Dembele in this moment when you know that Dembele had his back facing against the goal? I would understand maybe if you were in Araujo's predicament where the player was literally facing the goal and you were like 7 feet away from the goalkeeper. I would understand maybe Joao Cancelo would make a mistake like that. But the fact that he still tried to like stop him with his leg and tried to like injure him while Dembele was not even facing the goal and he was going the opposite way. I'm like, dude, what type of decision was that? You're not even supposed to like really touch him. And if you did, why did you not wait for Dembele to go outside the box? Why touch him in that moment that led towards us getting the penalty against us? I do think that this decision making was much worse than what Araujo did to Barcola. And so because of Cancelo's mistake on tackling Dembele unnecessarily, PSG got the 5-4 global scoreline. And that, my friends, when PSG saw that, when they saw that they were on a 1-0 lead basically globally, it is what made them believe that they can make a comeback against Barcelona. And yet again, Joao Cancelo gave PSG the motivation and the momentum to go past FC Barcelona. And that is something that defenders can never do. So we move on towards a different game. And it was in the match against Real Madrid where he made his third mistake. And as you can see here, Lucas Vazquez was trying to get the ball. He puts the ball forward and Lucas Vazquez has like no problem getting through Cancelo. Cancelo was like a ghost. Like he was just air. He wasn't anything. You can see just how close Cancelo was on trying to recoup the ball, but Cancelo did not do anything. He did not even touch the ball and he let Lucas Vazquez body him so easy. And that is what led towards him getting the ball back again and then faking a foul inside the box, and it led towards a penalty. We move on towards the fourth mistake, and yet again, Vinicius crossed the ball into the box from the left side. Lucas Vazquez, all he had to do was meet that ball, make a tap in, and it was a goal. Cancelo yet again fails to defend the back post. Yeah, I'm like, dude, like when I saw Barcelona concede this goal and I saw that it was all Cancelo's fault, I'm like, did you not learn what happened in that goal that Dembele scored, right? To the first goal. It was the exact same way they have conceded, and Cancelo did not learn anything. To me, this is showing me, and I believe to everybody else, that Cancelo crumbles under pressure. He lacks focus and he lacks the basic rules of defending. Cancelo is showing to us that when it does get tough, he cannot defend. He forgets how to defend. He forgets that he's even a player. Ronald de Boer also said something about Joao Cancelo recently, and this is what he said. Now I know why Pep Guardiola did not want Cancelo. This guy plays his own football. He plays for himself. He thinks it's only what you do with the ball that matters, but you are a freaking defense. And this really did remind me of the interview that Pep Guardiola had with Thierry Henry. I think it was held like 8 to 9 months ago, but at that time, Henry was asking Guardiola, how did you improve your team defensively or something like that? And then Pep Guardiola was like, it's all about the quality of your players. It's what's going to get you there. And then he was referencing Nathan Ake, Akanji, and how well they defend the left flank. He was saying that they are amazing players. He named those two players as like an upgrade to whatever Pep Guardiola had before on the left flank, aka Cancelo. And then he was stating that, what's the whole point of attacking well with your defenders if you keep conceding at the back? It would be no point. And then he was saying, people praise the key passes and the goals from our players, but no, you need to be a defender first. And that, my friends, like when he said those things and he was saying that to Thierry Henry, I felt like he was sending a message to the previous fullbacks that he had, and especially Joao Cancelo. Like maybe yes, Guardiola did appreciate what Cancelo had to do in the final third, but every time he had to defend, he failed Guardiola over and over again. That is the reason why Pep Guardiola did not want the players, because he saw the weaknesses. And it's not just the Cancelo, like he pushed Zinchenko too, and he pushed Zinchenko to Arsenal. Now Arteta has Zinchenko, and now we have Joao Cancelo. It's crazy how Guardiola like knows everything from afar, and you would think that, oh yeah, we're winning because we got this player from Man City. And we also do have proof at Barcelona, right? When it comes to like knowing that if you know how to defend at the back, that is the only thing that matters. We have proof here at Barcelona based off what Pep Guardiola was stating. Do you know why Jules Koundé took Joao Cancelo's spot on the right back position? Like why do you think we all have consensus on that? Like, why do you think that we all agree that Koundé should be the starter on the right back position and not Joao Cancelo? That is because Koundé knows how to defend. Joao Cancelo doesn't. Xavi Hernandez knows this, and that is why he was sticking to this idea. Why do you think we feel safer when Koundé is there and not Cancelo? Of course, Jules Koundé had his low moments through the season, but he was really holding it down for us 90% of the time through this season. Pep Guardiola would probably be the happiest person on earth if he got his hands on Jules Koundé to play at Man City and to play as a right back in exchange for Kyle Walker in a few years. And when we compare Cancelo and Koundé and their stats, you can see that in terms of their defensive actions, they're the exact same thing, meaning that they get tested very evenly when they have to defend, but the duel percentage on how many times they win those defensive duels is what really changes. Koundé wins those defensive duels like 90% of the time. Cancelo is all the way at the bottom when it comes to those duels. He cannot win the defensive duels. And again, this is what Guardiola saw, and this is what Xavi Hernandez finally realized once he saw Cancelo perform against Real Madrid and PSG. It was just too many basic mistakes. And so I think that Cancelo is great in the attack, right? He has quality, but in terms of defense, it's suicide. And this is the reason why Xavi Hernandez has been recently asking for a fullback and why he needs a new fullback in this summer. Xavi does see the weaknesses. He's going through the exact same phase that Guardiola was going through about a year and a half ago. Basically last season, he was saying, I don't want Cancelo, he has to go somewhere else, maybe Bayern Munich. And so because of this 50-50 debate right now, because he does have his pros and his cons, I just think that for now, Barcelona should strive for a loan. If not a loan, then we should not keep him. It's too much of a gamble. I just don't think that Barcelona should waste money on a player that's going to be a potential net negative for us. He'll have his pros, he'll have his cons, but the cons are going to be overweighing the pros. It just wouldn't make any sense to spend 25 million euros on the player, because why spend that type of money when you know that player might not even be used for big moments? And this summer is going to be important. Every dollar or every euro is going to be counting. Now you may say, but Kevin, Cancelo can grow and learn from these mistakes. Look, he's 29 years old. The margin of growth for him is extremely low. If Cancelo made these mistakes and we were having this conversation as if he was 23 years old, then yes, I would say, okay, he's 23 years old, he's young, the margin of growth is going to be very high, he can learn probably next season, and if anything, let's permanently sign this player because he's definitely going to become a better defender in the future. But at 29 years old, dude, really? You're about to turn 30 and you should be a leader, you should be mature, you should be acting well, especially under pressure and in big games. And with Cancelo right now, I don't see that, which is why I do think that we should just have him on a loan, on a second loan spell, and that's basically it. And we'll see how he does improve through the next season. There is no reason for us to be spending our hard-earning money on someone like him. And so I think that in the next season, Alejandro Balde should come in and get incorporated as soon as possible. Remember that Balde was the best defender before he got injured. Balde was definitely a better defender than Joao Cancelo. We were confused through that time because we were looking at how Cancelo was so good on the ball, making these crosses, making these goals, and that we were also stating Cancelo should be starting over Balde. But now we see the real picture. Now we see the real characters of these players. So I think that Balde needs to come back as soon as possible for the next season. I do assume that he's going to be okay by that time in August. Another player that I do want to see to go into the left back position is Faye. I know that Faye can play as a center back, but I would love to see Faye try out as a left back because defensively, he's very talented. And maybe he is a hidden gem and we just don't know anything about it yet. Hector Fort is also another player that I'm very enthusiastic about. He's definitely going to get more chances in these next upcoming games for this season. Remember, he had a great defensive display against Atletico Madrid. So the talent and the energy that he does carry, I want to see this player also get more chances. Now, in terms of like what Xavi Hernandez could potentially be asking for, like he has been asking for a defensive fullback. I have no idea who that player could be. I don't know who Barcelona is scouting, but the only real idea that I do have would be Grimaldo. I don't know if you guys know who that player is, but he's a Bayer Leverkusen player. Like if there was a left back out there that Barcelona could get, it would be this one. I don't know if this is a player that they're eyeing. I'm just like guessing here because we have no evidence on who Barcelona is scouting. But if they were to scout another left back, even after I did say Balde, Faye, Hector Fort, Grimaldo would be the perfect one in my opinion. Grimaldo is a Barcelona academy player. He left in 2016. Yes, he was part of that era where many talents that we see today left the academy because they saw no opportunity to go into the first team, like Eric Garcia, like Dani Olmo, Xavi Simons, etc. It's crazy, right? It's crazy how Barcelona is now going back to their academy players, the players who left 7 years ago. But yeah, Grimaldo would be a good one because he played 44 matches under Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. And in those 44 matches, dude, he scored 11 goals and provided 16 assists. That is a lot and a lot of like goal contributions. 11 goals and 16 assists. And remember how I did state, right, that it's not just about the attack. When you are a defender, you have to defend. He also defends so well. I saw him play a couple of games and this guy is really focused at the back. There's a reason why Bayer Leverkusen have already won the Bundesliga, and why they're going to the Champions League is because they have a great defense, and Grimaldo was part of the whole thing. He's 28 years old, so he has a lot of experience. He has a contract with Bayer Leverkusen until 2027. He's at the height of his career. Currently, his fee is going to be around 45 to 50 million euros. I expect for this fee to go even higher because of how well he has done for Bayer Leverkusen. He charges 6 million euros a year. Barcelona can come in and say, we'll give you almost double, 11.5 million euros a year. No problem, because if you let go of Joao Cancelo and you incorporate Grimaldo, he's going to be cheaper because Cancelo currently charges 16 million euros a year. So sportingly and financially, it makes a lot of sense. Now, here's the thing. I honestly don't think this will happen because Xabi Alonso just announced that he's going to be staying at Bayer Leverkusen. They're going to go for another season and they're going to go to the Champions League. Does Grimaldo really want to leave at this moment knowing that they are building something special? Like, why would Grimaldo really leave now? The reason why he is what he is today is because of Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen. So there is no real reason on why he should be leaving and go to a team like FC Barcelona. I mean, like, you know, I try not to be like super biased. Like, I would really like to say, yeah, of course, come to Barcelona. Barcelona is the best club in the world because, you know, Xavi and Pedri and Gavi. But like, let's be real here. Why would he leave Bayer Leverkusen to go to FC Barcelona right now? He just signed with this team and they're building something monumentally successful. So I don't know. Maybe Xavi Hernandez has the persuasive power to get the player in. Recently, also, Grimaldo just said that his dream is to one day play in the Spanish league again. He literally said that, which is why I'm also like talking about this player. He wants to go to La Liga again one day. And I know that one team that he is talking about is FC Barcelona, where he did come from. So again, we'll see. It would be a great incorporation if we can get this player and also with Bernardo Silva and Kimmich. It would be one hell of a transfer window. But that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.